Today, British Prime Minister Theresa May told the country that she will see Brexit through and finish the job if it doesn't finish her first. May narrowly survived a no-confidence vote within her own Conservative Party, but the result was far from a ringing endorsement. Is she now too compromised to carry on? I'm Brent, Goff in Berlin. This is The Day.
This has been a long and challenging day, but at the end of it, I'm pleased to have received the backing of my colleagues in tonight's ballot.
In favour of having confidence in Theresa May was 200 and against was 117.
The way to ensure there is no deal is to agree a deal.
Can she now update the House on what changes she has secured to her deal?
And I have made some progress, but there is further.
If there's an agreement, why won't the Prime Minister put that agreement to a vote of this House?
We have no intention of changing the withdrawal agreement.
Also coming up tonight, his days as Donald Trump's personal attorney are long over. His days as a prison inmate will soon begin.
He lied for months on end about his criminal conduct and the role of the President of the United States. He deserves every day of the 36-month sentence that he will serve. Michael Cohen was sentenced today. Donald Trump is next. Thank you.
We begin the day with a decision that could determine both the future of Brexit and the fate of Prime Minister Theresa May. A no-confidence vote within Theresa May's Conservative Party was held this evening. As expected, May survived the vote. But even before the ballot began, May promised her fellow Tories that she will not run for re-election in 2022. Even with that pledge, a substantial minority of lawmakers voted against Theresa May as Conservative Party leader and as Prime Minister. Take a listen.
The number of votes cast in favour of having confidence in Theresa May was 200 and against was 117. Under the rules set out in the Constitution of the Conservative Party, no further confidence vote can take place for at least 12.
All right, those were the results that were read out just a short while ago. A few moments after Graham Brady announced that decision, Prime Minister Theresa May went outside 10 Downing Street to talk about those results. Here's part of what she had to say.
This has been a long and challenging day, but at the end of it, I'm pleased to have received the backing of my colleagues in tonight's ballot. Whilst I'm grateful for that support, a significant number of colleagues did cast a vote against me, and I've listened to what they said. Following this ballot, we now need to get on with the job of delivering Brexit for the British people and building a better future for this country. A Brexit that delivers on the vote that people gave, that brings back control of our money, our borders and our laws, that protects jobs, security and the union, that brings the country back together rather than entrenching division. That must start here in Westminster, with politicians on all sides coming together and acting in the national interest. For my part, I've heard what the House of Commons said about the Northern Ireland backstop, and when I go to the European Council tomorrow, I will be seeking legal and political assurances that will assuage the concerns that members of Parliament have on that issue. But while delivering Brexit is important, we also need to focus on the other issues that people feel are vital to them, that matter to them today, the issues that we came into politics to deal with. Building a stronger economy, delivering first-class public services, building the homes that families need. We owe it to the people who put us here to put their priorities first. So here is our renewed mission: delivering the Brexit that people voted for, bringing the country back together, and building a country that truly works for everyone.
But can you get your Brexit deal?
I'm joined tonight here at the big table by our correspondent and Brexit analyst, Alex Forrest Whiting. She's been with us all evening. And in London is our very own Barbara Vazel. To both of you, good evening. Barbara, let me start with you. We heard in that reporter's question, how will you get your Brexit deal through? May still has the bigger problem of Brexit. I mean, what do tonight's events, what do they mean for this problem that seems to be unsolvable?
The basic problem, of course, is unsolved. It's the infamous Irish backstop, the reinsurance that there is not going to be a hard border on Ireland. And she said it again, even when we just listened to her. She said she was looking for legal and political assurances from the EU. The political assurances she can get. The EU will be happy to tell her, no, we do not intend to stay with you, the British government, in a customs union, temporary customs union forever, because that is not a good deal for the European side either. However, a legal assurance would sort of take the whole idea of the backstop off the table. It's an insurance policy without insurance, and that is a nonsense. So, of course, she cannot deliver that, but she keeps repeating it, and that is really what she does. That's the way she does politics. She just sticks to an idea, and she just says it over and over again in the hope that in the end, somehow she can pull it through. She's shown tonight that she can pull things through. She survived this vote of no confidence from within her own party, even though it was not with a comfortable margin. So she may have won the battle, but she certainly still has to fight a war.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot this week about the fortitude of Theresa May, and comparisons have been made, Alex, with Margaret Thatcher. And tonight, the numbers, they are begging for comparison here. When Margaret Thatcher was challenged in 1990, she won by 204 votes, 4 votes more than what May received tonight. And Thatcher resigned a few days later. So has she been strengthened, or has she been weakened by this?
Well, just for a bit of historical history, on the Margaret Thatcher thing. I mean, the rules then for the Conservative Party were a bit different, and she was actually up against another minister, Michael Heseltine, in fact, and she needed then, with the rules, she needed to get 15% more than he did, and she only got 14%. So she then resigned the following day. So that was why she did it. However, that's not to say that Theresa May has done well, because she hasn't. It is not comfortable for her at all. A third of her own party voted against her. She is, though, for the moment, safe for a year, unless something even more extraordinary happens, and you never know, but she is supposed to be safe for a year. Jacob Rees-Mogg, the lead Brexiteer, calling it a terrible result for the Prime Minister, still calling for her to go, but members of her own cabinet, her top team, for example, Amber Rudd, who's the pension secretary, saying a strong result tonight. Now we can get on with the important work ahead. But the thing is, the work's only really just begun.
Yeah, and it's a matter of interpretation, isn't it, Barbara? I mean, she could be seen as a prime minister who is walking wounded after tonight.
She is, but that is not really going to make a difference for her in Brussels and with her standing in the European Union or in negotiations with them, because they have seen the spectacle, the political spectacle in Britain now. They've watched the negotiations. They have seen how split the government is. They've seen how split the two big parties in the countries are, the Conservatives on the one hand and also the Labour Party, split internally about Brexit. And they've been aghast at the spectacle. So now they know that this is not strong and stable, as Theresa May loved to repeat, but it is a government very much on shaky ground. They've become used to it, and they will deal with her as long as she's there. The day that she's gone, if it should still happen within the next year, she'll be gone, and they'll adapt. So they really, in a sense, don't care.
They don't care. And Alex, before we run out of time here, I mean, who was served by what happened today?
Honestly, nobody was served, apart from we saw more political drama. The Brexiteers were hoping that they were going to be served. They were going to get rid of Theresa May, and they were going to be able to start petitioning for one of their own to be put in place to lead the Conservative Party. That didn't happen. But those supporters of Theresa May will also be left disappointed, including Theresa May herself, knowing that 117 of our own MPs, that's a third of the Conservative Party, the MPs, voted against her. And that is very uncomfortable for Theresa May, particularly if she's still trying to petition the EU to give her more concessions.
All right, yes, that's a number that she will not be able to erase either. All right, our Brexit analysts right here, Alex and Barbara in London, to both of you. Thank you.